Hey everyone. Yeah, I tried to do this yesterday, but for some reason, the audios decided to go and do a lip, not lip, but the audio decided after it was uploaded or something, decided to do a lip sync. In other words, you'd be hearing what I was saying, but then you'd be hearing but then you'd be seeing this. My lips wouldn't be matching up to what was being said. But anyway, what I wanted to do was come on here and talk about and speculate a little bit on Lucha Underground Season 5. Should we get a season 5? But I think we will. I think El Rey Network is going to give us a Season 5. Because you can't just end Season 4 and Ultima Lucha Cuatro, aka Ultima Lucha 4, on the cliffhanger that you did without having a Season 5 planned out. Now, there's no doubt that, as a lot of people have said that have reviewed and talked about Lucha Underground Season 4, that it started out slow. It started out very okay, we know you could do better. Where are you? Where's that Lucha Underground that we know and love that attracted us, made you an alternative, and all that? For the first several episodes, it kept us wondering when that was coming. And even I did a video as to when I think it was going to come and when, what could happen and all that. And even guys like Alex, Dalyxman, if you will, and several others did videos on it, kind of discussing, where the pickup was going to be, where the sudden adrenaline of Lucha Underground was going to resurface, and usually about the second half, the halfway point, I should say, the second half, is when it started to really pick up and be the Lucha Underground we all know. The reason, though, it was kind of slow at first is because they lost a lot of key players. A lot of key players that they probably had some plans centered around, but due to the fact that the contracts with Lucha Underground or the negotiations or whatever deals they had with Lucha Underground, AAA, if you will, had expired, and the fact that other companies like WWE were invested in getting these names. A lot of stuff obviously had to be reworked. A lot of stuff had to be rewritten. Stuff like that. In situations like that. So, yeah, Lucha Underground had to basically go through a rebuilding process, which is why when there was talk about a Season 4 occurring, it was kind of up in the air of, would they go that route? Would they not go that route? We weren't really sure. Well, they definitely, like I said, started out slow, but they most definitely started to pick up as we got into the second half. I mean, you saw glimpses here and there in the earlier episodes, but the moment we got into the second half, or got close to it and right through it, that's when it started to pick up and be the Lucha Underground that people know and love. And the stars, if you're wondering, the stars that they lost Prince Puma, who was Ricochet, under the mask. So Ricochet, who signed with WWE and became part of the NXT brand, and is the current NXT North American champion, lost, I think, a mask versus mask match or something like that, or some kind of match where he just removed his mask off screen. You didn't see what his face looked like, but pretty much, yeah, he lost, I guess, I don't know if it was a loser leaves the temple. I think it was a loser leaves the temple match. I'm not really sure. But yeah, Ricochet, who was Prince Puma, left, and now he's part of WWE. Rey Mysterio, who played an integral part in previous two seasons before this, left, went back to WWE, but also had other commitments elsewhere. And then, of course, you have Sexy Star and what she did outside of Lucha Underground. I think at Triple Mania, I believe it was, where she kind of shot on Rosemary, on Impact Wrestling's Rosemary. So Sexy Star got removed, and the explanation for Sexy Star's removal was she was killed off screen. Yeah. Basically, it was a new character that came in later on in this season that killed her off, and that was Reclusa. Reclusa was played by Chelsea Green, aka Laura Van Ness from Impact Wrestling. So Chelsea Green came in and played Reclusa, and it was implied that she killed Sexy Star off screen, because if you remember the way they ended, I believe, season 3 is they had Sexy Star opening up some kind of container or box, and in the box was a spider given to her by a little girl, but we didn't know where the spider came from or what it was, and it turned out to be from Reclusa, Chelsea Green's character. So yeah, Sexy Star was gone. It was implied in season 4 and basically at the end of Ultima Lucha Quattro that Rey Mysterio's character, as far as Lucha Underground goes, was killed off. So yeah, they lost a lot of stars. And they lost some other stars as well. They lost Angelico. They lost him, I'm guessing, to AAA or CMLL, I'm not really sure, or Japan, one of the places. So there was some significant names that they lost throughout season 3. So they had to rebuild from that. They had to rebuild, and also they had killed off Dario Cueto. So they had to rebuild basically from a lot of this. And like I said, at first, a lot of people noticed, and I noticed, that they kind of started out slow, but they really picked up in the end. They really picked it up and proved to be the Lucha Underground that we all know and love. So now that brings us to season 5 and what that's going to lead us to. Well, I will say this, as far as returning characters, Reclusa can't return. She can't return because of the fact that just like Ricochet, who was Prince Puma, she is now signed to NXT. Thus, it means more than likely that the reason for her absence in season 5 of Lucha Underground is going to be explained as Marty the Moth killing her off, because Marty the Moth Martinez was the Lucha Underground champion in this season, and it was thanks to not only cashing in his gift to the gods, but it was also thanks to the help of Reclusa, aka Chelsea Green. So now there's no doubt that the way Marty was portrayed in the series, as well as how he was portrayed in his match against Pentagon Jr. or Pentagon Dark, is, well, Marty basically is described as unstable, not all there. So I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up killing Reclusa off screen for not helping him, or out of his just sheer madness or something. So, anyway, Reclusa is not going to be there. Apparently Jack Evans is gone now, so we don't know if he'll be brought back or not. There are some people that left courtesy of different ways this year. Like I said, Jack Evans is out of the picture. We know that Mil Morientes is gone. El Messias, Judas Messias, he's gone, or is he? We're not really sure. Because Katrina, her character was killed off, or was she? So without Katrina, there's no way Mil Morientes could come back from the dead. Another character that was killed off in this season was Matanza Cueto. And he was killed off thanks to Black Lotus, who came back, used the Gauntlet of the Gods to kill him, rip out his heart. So Jeff Cobb, who portrayed Matanza, he's gone. So now the question is, how do you rebuild from that? And that is a good question, but I don't think the rebuilding process is going to be as urgent or as bad or as slow as it was for season 4. I think they pretty much have an idea who they want to bring in to work these shows, and then they're going to go from there. But the way Lucha Underground Season 4 ended and Ultima Lucha Quattro 4 ended, Ultima Lucha 4, Ultima Lucha Quattro ended, pretty much sets us up for what I'm speculating and assuming is going to be the last season. Because why would you play your hand, your winning hand, if you will, this soon? I mean, if you have a show that's as successful and is viewed by lots of people and is a huge ratings hit for the network or networks that it's part of, why would you want to show your winning hand now when you can continuously build up to it in seasons to come? Well, I'm guessing because of the fact that season 4 was up in the air when, for Lucha Underground, when it was being brought back. I'm assuming El Rey Network and MGM and those in charge don't want to have to go through the same thing again with season 5 or even afterwards. Thus, the reason why season 5 could potentially, in my opinion, be the last season. Because like I say, why would you play your hand so soon? And what I mean by winning hand is the revelation that the gods that have been talked about throughout Lucha Underground, these dark gods, these evil gods, whatever they are finally being brought in and actually are getting involved match-wise and stuff as well. Give you an example. Jack Swagger, who debuted for Lucha Underground this year as Jake Strong, is a god. We don't know how that came out, but he's a god. We find out that we finally see the master of Vampiro, who, at first when I saw the master, I thought it looked very feminine. No offense, but looked very female-like behind that mask and everything, and behind the outfit and everything. So I don't know if it is a female athlete or something, because the master, as they're being called, did a shooting star press off the balcony and did a red arrow, a corkscrew shooting star onto Pentagon Dark. And Dalyxman at first thought, could this be Neville? Could this be Pac? But then again, you take a look at how the body built is, and I don't think it's Neville. I don't think it's Pac. It could be a female athlete for all we know, but just the way they were dressed. We'll have to look it up online. As a matter of fact, let me see what my time strain is here. Let me look it up online here for a moment. But yeah, the master didn't look more feminine wise, because I think of the build. trying to see who it is. Trying to see who it is here. Let's see. It doesn't really say who it is. I'm trying to figure it out. Well, here we go. Cast and crew. This might give us an idea. Oh no, I don't know. It's like trying to see here. It doesn't really say. But I guarantee you it's not Neville. But if it does become Neville or Park in season 5, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised at all. But like I said, well, we have the revelation that this master is a god, Vampiro's master is a god. The agent Winter is a god. And now Taya Valkyrie, is a god as well. Well, long story short, one of the subplots of season 4 was Ricky Mundo, who was part of the Worldwide Underground, the faction led by John Morrison, had this doll called Rosa that was talking to him. Well, Taya ended up getting a hold of the doll because it was communicating with her, and ended up possessing Taya. Now, if we know any kind of movie like lingo when it comes to this kind of stuff, usually when something like this Rosa doll, who was a god herself, possesses the body of another, then the spirit of that individual goes into the body that the god or the spirit originally inhabited. So in other words, speculation, this Rosa spirit or this Rosa god took over Taya's body and thus switched out her soul by putting Taya's soul into this doll. Sounds kind of weird, but that's pretty much what it is. But yeah, pretty much Taya is a god, and we don't know if she killed off Johnny Mundo, John Morrison's character. And they ended that on a cliffhanger. My assumption is what's going to happen is Johnny Mundo, John Morrison's character, is going to probably survive, But then he's going to hear Taya's voice coming from the doll, and Taya's going to probably explain, yeah, this is what happened to me. You know. So it's going to be really, really intriguing how they follow up on that. But I'm guessing Taya is still going to be part of this, physically and vocally. And what I mean by vocally is she's going to voice the doll, because I think her spirit's in the doll. I really do. So, yeah. She's a god. And they're all led by this one lord of, like, darkness. And no, it's not the Undertaker or anything like that. No, this lord of darkness, this overlord, if you will, is Wade Barrett. Bad News Barrett. Nexus, if you will. Yeah. And basically, he asked if they have any more bad news. If not, then it's time to take over the world. But that's not how Ultima Lucha Quattro ends entirely, because then we see Aerostar. Aerostar shows up several times in these backstage or vignettes or whatever, serial moments, serial scenes. And he plays an integral role throughout this season, and there's no doubt he's going to play a huge role next season. But Aerostar is a time traveler. And he's been going back and forth in time trying to fix things, or trying to right the wrongs, I guess. So he goes back in time about a year prior, as far as Lucha Underground is concerned, a year before, after Antonio Cueto takes the key to Matanza's cage off of Dario's neck. Aerostar shows up, opens up the casket, puts this amulet of immortality across Dario Cueto's neck, tells him to wake up and come with him. Dario wakes up, sits up and looks at Aerostar, says, "Aerostar?" Then I guess notices where he is, sits up and goes, "What the?" And that's how it ends. That's how it ends. Dario Cueto is back. He's alive again. And I'm guessing, I'm guessing, because this takes place apparently according to the cliffhanger, or to the ending scenes, basically according to this final scene, this takes place about a year prior, as far as Lucha Underground continuity is concerned. It takes place a year prior. So my speculation on how this is going to be addressed in season 5 is Aerostar is going to have Dario watching everything in hiding. Like, Antonio won't know Dario's there. He'll just be watching a lot of what's been going on in hiding. So, yeah, there's no doubt we're going to get a Cueto versus Cueto face-off. I wouldn't say match, but I'd say it's a face-off. And I'm guessing Antonio Cueto is going to probably also play a huge role. I would assume, just by his reaction at the revelation that his son Matanza is dead, that he's going to probably turn against the gods. But I don't see Antonio Cueto surviving season 5. I really don't. What I see happening, and I thought about this, is if they're going to have season 5, speculation-wise, be the last season of Lucha Underground, my thought is they're going to go all out with this, and then one of the behind-the-scenes or vignettes or serial scenes that we're going to get is them in this place, temple-like environment or whatever, where you're going to have all the gods possessing the bodies of these people, these wrestlers, and they're going to have them probably enter into what I would assume could be like cocoon-like chambers and everything, because they got everything they need. They got the gauntlet back, They got the Lucha Underground Championship, and obviously they probably have the medallions that go to the Gift of the Gods Championship. So they have everything they need. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get a moment or a scene somewhere in the middle of Season 5 where you have these wrestlers, possessed now by these gods, go into these chamber-like cocoon areas, get sealed up, and then when the time is right, you see them come out and they look more monstrous. Of course, that'll be due to CGI and mostly prosthetics, makeup, special effects, something like that. But you'll probably see them come out looking more monstrous than before. And again, that's either, I would believe, going to take place in the middle, or more than likely during Ultima Lucha. Like, right before Ultima Lucha happens, you're going to get that moment, and you're going to see the appearance of all of them in these new made-out forms. Like, you're going to have a lot of prosthetics and makeup put on them a little bit to make them look a little bit more hideous. Maybe you're going to have them dye their hair, or something's going to happen. But you're going to have a moment that takes place that's going to be something like that, I've got a feeling. That's going to help them evolve and help them get ready to have the power to take over the world. As far as Aerostar's role goes in Season 5, I look at him as being sort of like a messenger from the gods that are good, and that those that he's recruited, from Dragon Azteca Jr. to King Cueto, I should say, possibly Johnny Mundo and Dario Cueto. I'm assuming that you're going to have all these... What I'm assuming, basically, is you're going to have all these storylines that have been taking place throughout all of Lucha Underground culminate in a big Ultima Lucha finale. After all the matches are done, you're going to get this big old, probably serial scene where you're going to have all these storylines come to fruition. You're going to have the tribes, the Rabbit Tribe, the Reptile Tribe, all coming together. It's all going to culminate. And you're going to have all these tribes, probably, as crazy as it sounds, unite to go against these gods in the finale. I would not be surprised if they do that. Because again, like I said earlier, why would you play your winning card by revealing all these gods and then having the Overlord himself, played by Wade Barrett, say it's time to take over the world? You wouldn't be doing that if perhaps the next season was going to be your last and you wanted it to go out with a bang. So my assumption and speculation my speculation is we're going to have one big climactic battle when it's all said and done. Not in the ring, of course, but out of the ring, kind of in the serial vignette deal. Which is why you have Aerostar getting people like Dragon Azteca Jr., King Cueto, why, getting Black Lotus, getting Johnny Mundo, probably going to recruit the Rabbit Tribe and the Reptile Tribe and let them know what's going on and what's at stake. So I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to put it past them that all the storylines we've been having happen lately all culminate within the next at the end of the next season. At the end of Ultima Lucha 5. Yeah, Ultima Lucha 5, Ultima Lucha 5. I would not be surprised if that happens. And again, it won't happen in the ring. It'll be happening like one of those serial vignettes kind of deal. And like I said, as far as Antonio Cueto goes, like I said, I don't think he's going to survive this season. He's either going to sacrifice himself and redeem himself for some of the things he's done, or what's going to happen is these gods, these evil gods that he's working with, are going to betray him and probably suck out his life force. So they're going to do something, because one thing I imagine happening is we're going to get a moment to where you would have the good guys, as they're going to be known, walking into the area where the changes, the transformations are going to take place that I mentioned. And you're going to see them walk past Dario Cueto, but Dario Cueto is not going to be there in the flesh. You're just going to see like a Dario Cueto all skeleton wise. Like something happened, like he tried to go against the gods or something, and they just used the power to poof, basically kill him and reduce him to nothing but a skeleton with his hair and beard and outfit on. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens either, but that's just mere speculation. But yeah, again, I have a feeling that's how it's going to probably end. You're going to have all the storylines culminate in one massive battle at the end. Do I see any characters being killed off? It's hard to say because I thought we had lost Sammy Callahan's character, Jeremiah Crane, but instead he was resurrected as Jeremiah Snake. So if there's anybody that's going to die in this season, in this upcoming season, I would not put it past the fact that we could see the end of Evilise. I hate to say that, but I think Evilise is going to die. Exolicious, I think, will be another. So those are probably two that are on the chopping board. As far as like major fan-loving characters go, I wouldn't put it past the fact that we could lose the Mac. So I got a feeling the Mac's going to be gone. I wouldn't put it past the fact that we could lose Dante Fox. He could be gone. Who else? I can't really say. I will say that if they bring back Mil Mentes, that he's going to be on the side of good. Like, here's a guy you thought you could kill, you can't kill, but yet he sees a threat that's in front of him. Yeah, I think he'll be on the side of good, at least to help them out. So he might be brought back. Other characters, I think if we do lose one of the tribes, I think it's more than likely it'll be the reptile tribe. I mean, the dark rabbit tribe, or the white rabbit tribe, I would say they could be expendable as well. But because of the fact that you've already killed off two of their characters as being sacrifices to the gods, thanks to Matanza. But I think because of the fact that you just rebuilt them, in a sense, with Killer Cross being like the leader, and the fact that with the reptile tribe you only killed off one person, and that's Valdo, or whatever his name is, Fondalo, or I can't pronounce his name, the big guy, the big snake guy, whatever. You killed him off by having his head chopped off. I wouldn't put it past that if we do lose a tribe, it will be the reptile tribe, because they only had to replace one person, and pretty much I think they're more expendable than the white rabbit tribe. Again, mere speculation as to who we might lose in Lucha Underground Season 5. But yeah, pretty much those are some of the people I think we're going to end up losing on screen wise. As far as Lucha Underground goes, if we're looking for any more characters to be killed off, those are the ones I think will be in the chopping block area. Evilise, Exolicious, like I said, the Mac, the Reptile Tribe. There's just a lot I think. There's just a lot I think are going to end up on the chopping block before you know it. But yeah, it's basically those are the ones I think that I would consider are in strong consideration to be killed off in Lucha Underground Season 5. But again, I believe it's going to end not in ring wise, but one of those big cinematic, serial, dramatic like scenes that we get. It's going to end with a big battle there, and you're going to have all the storylines that have been culminating in that season and the seasons prior just all come together for one big climactic finale. So those are just my thoughts, and so those are just my thoughts, speculations on what I think Lucha Underground season 5 will be like, and how I think it may end, and who I think may be taken away. As far as new faces go, I think Pac will show up. I don't know if he'll be revealed as the master, because I think they'll stick with who they got. We'll probably find out who that is in the future. Heck, it might be DJ Z for all we know, or Andrew Evett. Who knows? But anyway, we'll probably find out who it is soon. But I think we're going to get Pac in there. I think anybody that was released by WWE and Ring of Honor and Impact Wrestling, and anybody that's just an independent wrestler right now, I think is going to show up. I think probably the biggest coup, I think the biggest coup that Lucha Underground could get, they got to get Cody. They got to get Cody to come in and probably work on the side of good. He's a natural with that. Have him work on the side. Bring Cody in. Bring Brandy if you want to, but bring him in as basically being that secret weapon, that one weapon, or basically bring him in, make him one of the gods that's good. Give him his let him have his snarky attitude and all that, but let him be one of the gods that's good, that helps fight against those gods that want to take over the world. That would be interesting. That would be nice. That, to me, that would be a nice coup for Lucha Underground to get. So, really, that's all I could say. Again, I think Pac's going to show up. I don't think he's going to be revealed as the master. I think they got somebody else in mind. Could be one of the two I just mentioned. I think Cody's going to be a good coup if they can get him. That'd be great. I think they should bring back, I think honestly, I know I might get some flack for this, but bring in Jeff Jarrett as well. I think Jeff Jarrett and Cody being on the side of good works perfectly for who they are. I think that works out great. Another coup I think they could get, another coup I think they should try to nab before anything happens, get the Young Bucks. Get Nick and Mike, get Nick and Mark, get Nick and Mike, get Nick and Mike Jackson, or Nick and Mark Jackson, get the Young Bucks, get them in there. And I guarantee you, people, not only does it give more exposure to the Bullet Club, as if they don't have any more as it is, but it puts them into a scenario where you have a legitimate group of good guys, storyline-wise, to help go against the bad guys. Legitimate people that could be the gods of good going up against the gods of evil. Be right back. Sorry, I thought that was my mom on the phone. That was just a synchronized bank. I have to catch up on my credit bill. Anyway, they could basically work out being like the gods of good and everything if you bring them in. And if we were to bring in some female athletes, definitely you got one already in Charles. You already got one in Shaul Guerrero, known as Raquel formerly known as Raquel Diaz in WWE. But Shaul Guerrero, I think, would be a great choice to be one of the female representatives of good. Melissa Santos, bring her back. And she'd be a great host for one of the good goddesses of light or goodness to take over. And heck, if she becomes a host for one of the good gods or goddesses, that could be the culmination to the whole Phoenix deal. But bring her in. Who else? You know what would be a good selection? Be a good selection. We saw it all in. Penelope Ford. Get Penelope Ford in there. She'd be a great choice. A great choice for Lucha Underground. not only as an addition to the roster, but as possibly someone that could play a major role on the side of good against the side of evil. So, yeah, those are some of the people I think they should bring in. Pac, I think would be a great coup. Cody, definitely. The Young Bucks, definitely. And Penelope Ford, most definitely as well. So, again, overall, those are just my thoughts and merely speculations on everything I think that will probably come out of Ultima Lucha Season 5. Let me know what you guys' thoughts are. Dalyxman, hopefully you'll see this tweet, and I'll even mention it. Hopefully you take your time in watching. But let me know what your thoughts are on your speculation on what Season 5 could be like. Do any of you agree with my thoughts on what could happen and who could be brought in? Let me know down below, guys. I'd love to hear from you. And I am out. Peace. God bless.